So let's look at Learning Objective 8.1b, where we're going to graph exponential growth functions. First thing we should do is talk about what an exponential function is, and it's of the format y equals ab to the x. And in this case, the x is actually going to be the exponent. You're used to seeing functions like a line would be y equals, for example, 2x plus 1. You're going to notice there are no exponents in this equation. The x is actually down here on the lower part of the equation. The exponentials are always the x is a little exponent. Now the way you can tell if it's a growth function is you look at the number that has the exponent next to it. We call it the base. If this number is greater than 1, then it's called exponential growth. So if we take this given example here, which is y equals 2 to the x power, and if we rewrite it so it looks like this format, it would be y equals, the a is just the number 1, the b is the 2 to the x power. So we can tell it's growth because the number that has the exponent is the 2. This is greater than 1, therefore it's a growth function. Now to graph this by hand, we would just make a table of values, and they've started it here for us. So let's just complete the 6 spots in here. The first one we would do is to find the y that goes with x of negative 2. I'm going to take the negative 2 and put it in for x. So for here, it's going to be y equals 2 to the negative 2 power. Now remember in chapter 6, we can get rid of negative exponents. You just drop it down below. So this would be y over 2 squared, and 2 squared is 4. So the answer here would be 1/4. For negative 1, it's going to be similar. You're going to do y equals 2 to the negative 1 power. Get rid of the exponent, and we get 1/2. Now be careful with this one. For 0, be y equals 2 to the 0 power. Put this in your calculator. You would type 2, little caret key of 0. When you do that, you're not going to get 0. You'll actually get the number 1. Recall from chapter 6, anything raised to the 0 power is the number 1. The last 3 we've been doing for quite a while. These are little quick ones. This is y equals 2 to the 1st power, which is just 2. This one right here, y equals 2 squared, which is 4. And then the last one here, y equals 2 cubed. Be careful, that's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. If you then were to graph these points on graph paper, here's what you would get. You're going to get a graph that looks like this. And you read a graph just like you read anything in a book, like a sentence. You read it left to right. So as you look at this graph left to right, you read that way, you're going to notice this graph here is growing. So you can visually tell that you have an exponential growth function because as you go from left to right, the thing gets bigger and it grows.